Hey everyone. So I have gotten some messages recently asking if I'm going to start do videos again, and I thought I'd address the sort of absence so people aren't wondering what's going on and can just not message me about it for the time being. Um, the long and the short of it is, yeah, I'm going to start doing videos again. I'll get into a little bit of why I have not done a video since April in just a minute. But yeah, if you just want to know the answer to that, then the answer is yes, I am going to start doing videos again soon. I just don't know when, because I'm dealing with some shit. So I'll get into the why now, I guess. So for those of you that don't know, I do a lot of stuff. I have a lot of irons in the fire at any given time, and that sometimes causes friction in some areas and sometimes doesn't. So if you notice, the last video I put up was in April. In April every year, there's an event here in Wisconsin called Midwest Gaming Classic that happens. It's a huge gaming convention, huge event. And me and another guy, Albert, run one of the rooms there, a space called Future Classics. And it's a space where game developers of all shapes and sizes, whether you're a 11-year-old game developer, like a child, or a AAA studio, and anything in between, you can come. We have some of the best prices, if not the best prices, for booths in the world, and you can just show your stuff off to a huge, I think somewhere in the realm of 40,000 or so attendees over the course of the weekend. This is a really good event, and I use that 11-year-old and AAA example because the last couple of years there's a group called Math Dice by Chance, who he's an 11-year-old kid who made this math-based dice game, and I put his booth next to this is 2 years ago, the folks from Lost Boys. Lost Boys had a booth out there as well. If you're not familiar with Lost Boys, they're a huge AAA studio that focuses on co-development. They did the console ports for Diablo and the WWE wrestling game, and Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Like, they do a lot of co-development and console porting and stuff. But they're a pretty substantial AAA developer here in the state, and I purposely put those two developers together, like the booths right next to each other, to be able to tell stories like this. But yeah, so we run this area. We have an average of like 50 or more developers every year come out and showcase, like different like 50 or plus studios every year come out and showcase. So that takes a lot of planning and stuff, and I'm busy with that pretty heavily, especially in the weeks leading up to the show, but pretty much from like November, October on, that's when the planning starts in earnest, and that also coincides with MDev, which is another thing that I'm one of the co-founders of the nonprofit that puts that on and stuff. So that's a pretty busy period for me, and then of course that weekend, and then I usually need like a week to decompress. So that was the first thing that kind of hit me. And normally I can cope with that fine. Normally it just kind of is what it is. But I'm also an adjunct professor of game development at one of the local colleges. And, the end of the semester happens around, May-ish every year, like middle of May. This year is a little bit early for, versus years past. And I had one student that never showed up to class, never did any homework, but still believed that they deserved to pass the class, and filed a complaint against me because I failed the student. So I was dealing with that for a while. And that's all manageable. That sort of shit happens. But then my dog died. We actually had to put her to sleep. And that was kind of the final, for lack of a better analogy, nail in the coffin for me, and I just kind of broke at that point. She was my baby. She was she was a huge part of my life. So I've been slowly mourning that, and she had been on she was on a downward decline for a little while, a couple of weeks, and we ended up having to put her to sleep. So it's been a lot of crying. One of the other day jobs that I have that's still going on, I do IT work for Junior Achievement of Wisconsin, and luckily there I have flexibility, so I can, when I need to cry, I'll go into the server room, and sequester myself to have a good cry or whatever. And yeah, so that's what's been happening. It's just been one thing after another that finally just kind of broke me with Gracie's passing. So I do plan to do more videos soon. I'm still a little fucked up from the whole thing, if I'm being frank. So I'm not over it yet. It's going to take some time still, I think. But yeah, I will get back to it. Sooner rather than later, hopefully. I had started doing a bunch of stuff. I had recorded a couple of in-engine things, and the way I do it is I always record the in-engine stuff before I do anything else. So I kind of go through that. I usually will screw around with it a little bit beforehand, but usually when I jump into that demo scene, I usually try to experience it for the first time with all of you. So I'll record those, and then after that, I do a more deep dive analysis off camera into stuff. Sometimes I'll flip those, but then I always do the first part of the video last. I always record that part last. So I haven't recorded the, intros to those videos yet with the ratings and my thoughts, and I'll honestly probably have to go back and go through those demo scenes again, because they're not fresh in my memory anymore, and then I'll have to edit them up a little bit. But yeah, I do have stuff that I had already started. I've got, as I keep saying, I have tens of thousands at this point of assets to do reviews on, but I'm still kind of messed up from, again, mostly Gracie dying. It's been rough. So that's where things are. I'll be back soon, hopefully, when I feel good enough to do it, essentially, because it's a lot of work for, pretty much no pay. It's really more for all you guys, but that's where those affiliate links help. If you do any of those assets, if you're going to buy it, please use the link in the description of the videos, because I get a little bit of money off that, and it helps me be able to buy more of them, because I buy them on my own dime, so I can do more of them and help you guys. But yeah, that's kind of where it's at. I appreciate everyone who, the few of you that did reach out and DM me. Thank you for checking in. And I appreciate that people are still subscribing. Like I said, rest assured, I do intend to go back to it. It's been a rough couple of months, back to back shit. So, with that, I'm going to put some pictures of Gracie up here at the end. And then I'll try to make the last picture the one that I got a few pictures of, me and Natalie holding her the day that we, had the service come into the house and put her to sleep. So I'll put that as the last one. But yeah, I'll put up some stuff on that so you can see what she kind of looked like. And yeah, so anyways, thanks for watching this. Thanks for, like I said, sticking with me and giving me a little bit extra time to mourn and stuff like that. And hopefully we'll have some videos up soon. All right, talk to you guys later.
you.